inflation is, this is out of Brookings, but inflation unlikely to reach the target by the end of 2024. My God, they can't even go month to month. So they're going to project out a couple of years and expect that that's where we're going to be. It's garbage. It's all about misdirection and them wanting to feel like wanting you to feel like they have control of inflation. They don't have control of it. Let's face it, that's why you got to have this, and that's why you got to have this, because they don't have control. And if you trust them to have control, heaven help you. I mean, I don't know what to say about it, but heaven help you. But this is like so important. We've talked about it so many other times, and that's the real strength. Surging inflation adjusted U.S. yields help drive dollar dominance. Why? Because this is the theory, and it works until it doesn't work. I'm just being honest about this. That when the Fed raises interest rates, it attracts more investors in the dollar because of a higher yield. Oh, woohoo. What they miss, what everybody seems to miss. I mean, it's really interesting. I talked to some really, really, really smart guys, people that I admire like so much. But what they never talk about, even when I bring it up, they kind of sidestep it. It's so interesting that this is the end of the currency's life cycle. So what if the stock market goes to 5 trillion? 5 trillion times zero is still zero. Nobody talks about the death of the dollar, but they'll talk about how strong it is relative to other currencies. That's garbage. Because what really matters to you and me, now look, if you're traveling, okay, you got a little advantage, except everybody globally is inflating away their currency. You cannot inflate this away. You can inflate away a currency because you push a button and you can create trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and quadrillions of dollars. But there's a finite amount of gold and of silver. There's a finite amount of it. And both of these elements are used in every single sector of the global economy. So there's always demand. That is critical. Dollars are only used in one area. Trade, barter, things like that. So when that demand goes away, what happens? That's why it's so critical for the central banks to maintain that level of confidence. Can you see how correlated the interest rates and the dollar strength relative to other currencies, not relative to purchasing power? Can you see how correlated they are? And then what happens? They raise the rates and you see the contract spot markets react to that. That's Wall Street. Do you trust them? If you do, I really have a really good shrinky dink that you should probably start seeing. Because how many times can you be lied to when you do not know the truth? But I'm trying to show you the truth out of the horse's mouth, not out of my mouth. Don't take my word for it. But don't take anyone else's word for it either. Do your own due diligence. That will serve you much better. Follow the links. Just go to the blog. You'll see my writing. You'll see all the links. You make your own conclusions. But this is what reality is. Surging inflation adjusted U.S. yields help drive dollar dominance. That is such garbage to you and me. To Wall Street, maybe not garbage until it really is garbage and all confidence is lost and we're in hyperinflation. Doesn't really matter how many dollars you have. In Zimbabwe, there are billionaires and trillionaires and they can't buy eggs. Fed inflation battle to spur greater economic harm than realized. Big old shocker. Of course, they're already instilling so much more harm. You saw when we peaked. Danger signals are flashing already. A contradictory phase of the global financial cycle is now underway. Do you see what they're admitting to here? What I keep trying to tell you, what I've told you for years and years and years, and yes, I am redundant. Because this isn't just like a one-off incident. This is a constant and compelling issue that has happened for you personally since the day you were born. You were born into this lie. You were fed this lie your entire life. It's hard to have a paradigm change. You don't want to think that you've been lied to your entire life and that all of what you believed is garbage. But I remember being a stockbroker in the 80s, and all they were talking about was how fabulous globalization would be. And I remember thinking to myself, yeah, I can see that this might not be the best thing in the world. So we had that globalization from the 70s and 80s until the 2020s, and now we're in a phase of deglobalization. Yes, the system that they built since the 80s, 70s, and 80s is clearly, going away. No doubt about that. But I can't sit here and tell you that there is not a new form of globalization or a transition to a new globalization control that's occurring. We're going to find out as time goes on, and I really kind of hope that I'm wrong, but I really kind of think I'm not. But I hope I am. I'm going to say that. Because even the central banks are telling us, Lyle Brainerd, is saying risks will become more two-sided at some point, which means they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. And what position do you want to be in when we get to that two-sided, the risks two-sided at some point? And are we pretty much there right now? I mean, Fed will fight inflation as long as it takes. They created it. They don't ever say what we did, we're trying to fix. There are always unintended consequences. If you like this clip and you want to watch the full video, just click right here. And to subscribe, click right here.